Hey everyone, up till now we have mostly been working in our home directory. In this video we'll take a closer look at how the Unix file system is organized. First of all, the contents of the hard drive are organized into files and directories. And under a directory you can have several files and other directories, as here in my home directory. So let's list the contents using ls. There's a special directory on all Unix systems called the root. And this is signified by a // So let's access the root directory using the command cd and // and then hit enter. The root directory is the topmost directory in the Unix directory hierarchy. All other directories are indirectly subdirectories of the root. Let's look at the contents of the root directory using ls. We see that the root directory on this computer has a subdirectory called users. Inside users there is a directory mpsilva, so let's list it, ls users. There's a subdirectory mpsilva, and that's actually my home directory. So the root directory is an ancestor of my home directory. By the way, the directory which contains all home directories is called users on BSD Unix, which the Mac operating system is based on, but it is usually called home on Linux systems. So you might have a home directory instead of users. There are a few standard directories that are typically going to be present in root. One of them we saw already, users on Mac and home on Linux. Another one is bin. It contains executable programs that are necessary in order to use a Unix system. Let's see what's in there using ls. So ls bin. Many of these you have already seen. For instance, cat for examining the contents of files, cp for copying files, and then you have ls for listing the contents of directories. So when you type ls, the command line interpreter actually executes the program from this bin directory. And to see which command is being executed, you can use the command which. So which ls and enter tells you that when you type the command ls, it's going to execute the program ls in the bin directory. Another directory which is commonly found in the root directory is the tmp, or temp. Anyone is allowed to write into this directory and read the contents of it, and it is often used for writing information during installation of programs, for instance. However, you can't trust that any of this information is going to be available at a later point in time. It can basically be deleted at any time. etc is another one of these directories that you always find in the root. As the name indicates, it contains a lot of different things like configuration files. There are a few more standard directories here, but the only one that I really want to show you is the user directory, usr. Although you might guess that it contains home directories or other user-related content, it actually doesn't. It contains the bulk of the installed programs and program libraries on the system. So let's enter the USR directory using cd usr. If we check the contents using ls, we can see that there is also a bin directory inside the USR directory. So let's enter that one, cd bin. If we run ls here, we can see that there is a lot of stuff here. In the user bin directory, you find programs which are useful for all users but are not required for the core operating system. This includes things like the Nano editor and the gzip program for compressing files. So let's check where Nano actually resides. Let's say which Nano. And this tells you that when you execute the command nano, it will actually run the nano program from usr bin. So that was bin. Let's go back to the USR directory using cd and 2 full stops. So cd space and 2 full stops. And as you may remember, this always takes you to the parent directory. The include and lib directories here in USR contain code and libraries which are needed to run and compile all of the programs in the operating system, or most of them. We will learn more about these things later when we talk about building programs. The last directory we'll look at in more detail is the USR local directory. This is the place where programs and program libraries installed by the users, for example me and you, are placed. It can also contain, for example, data sets or resources which are made accessible to all users on the system. So let's enter it using cd local. There's a bin directory here as well, and it has a lot of programs, many of them actually installed by me. So ls bin shows you a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's get back to our own user directory. And the easy way to do this was just to type cd with no arguments and press enter. Now if I execute pwd, which was print working directory, we see that I'm in the directory root users mpsilfe. So the mpsilfe subdirectory of users, which is a subdirectory of the root directory. So we previously learned a way to get to the users directory, which was cd and 2 full stops, because users is the parent directory of mpsilfe. But I'm not going to execute this command, so I'll just type Ctrl-C to get a new command line. There's another shorthand which will be useful for us, and it is 1 full stop. And this refers to the current directory. So you can say cd and 1 full stop. Well, this doesn't really do much. It just takes you to the same directory where you already are. This is, however, useful when you are copying files. For example, the life of b.txt file is located in command line course and its subdirectory week1. And to copy it into my current working directory, I can do cp for copy, cmd line course, week1, and life of b. And then when I want to copy it into my current working directory, the destination is going to be a full stop. So let's list the contents of the directory using ls. And you can see that we had a life of b.txt file here. Another related shorthand is the tilde notation. We already know that the tilde refers to your home directory. You can also use this notation to copy a file to your own home directory. So cp cmd line course week1 and life of b, and then the destination is going to be a tilde, and enter. This also copies the file into the current working directory because we happen to be in my home directory right now. So cd and 2 full stops takes you to the parent directory of the current working directory, which is users in my case. Now it's also possible to modify this so that I get to the parent directory of users. And to do this, just chain together 2 sets of full stops. So cd 2 full stops, / and 2 more full stops. And this takes me to the parent directory of users, which happens to be root. And let's see that we're actually here, pwd. Yes, we're here. Okay, so let's go into the bin directory under root. So cd bin. If I want to get to the USR bin directory from here, this is what I do. cd space, and then 1 level up to the parent directory using 2 full stops. Then / USR and its subdirectory bin. And pwd shows that we are actually in the USR bin directory. Now this is called a relative path because we specify the destination in relation to where we are currently. Let's try to use the same path in my home directory. So plain cd takes us to my home directory. And then let's try. So cd space 2 full stops /usr/bin. When I try this, I get an error message that the directory does not exist. This is a result of the fact that the user's directory does not have a subdirectory called usr. We can also refer to the usr bin directory using an absolute path. So let's say cd /usr/bin. This will work the same way regardless of where we are in the directory tree. It always takes us to the usr directory under root. And you can recognize an absolute path by the fact that it always starts at the root directory. So this was a deeper look at the Unix file system. Hope you enjoyed it.